We have remarked, of course, I think correctly, and many people have observed this, that the book of Matthew is divided into 5 blocks of teachings, ending with that chorus when Jesus had finished all these sayings. Very deliberately, Matthew is telling us that he is the new Moses. Not, I want to stress, just copying Moses in the letter. And so some believers who have been taught that Jesus was under the law of Moses have been badly mistaken. He wasn't. If Jesus operated on that arena of being under the law of Moses, we should be copying him. Don't forget, this devil has only one trick: to separate Jesus from his teaching. You can go on talking about Jesus endlessly. You can talk about accepting Jesus, believing in Jesus, all sorts of good things, but if you don't accept the teachings of Jesus, you're creating a false Jesus and you're deceiving yourself. That's basic. So we must insist that Jesus is bringing in the new covenant, and we are to follow Jesus, who brought in the renewed second covenant, not the old covenant. So Jesus himself was not under the law of Moses. That's to say that he was introducing the words of the new covenant, which he then ratified with his blood at his death. That's essential. Paul, I want to remind you, 1 Corinthians 9:20. Paul, a Jew and a model Christian, was following Jesus. And guess what Paul said there? This is a verse you're going to use with your friends across the coffee table all the time. 1 Corinthians 9:20. Paul says, I, a Jew and a Christian, am not hyponomou, under the law. That's amazing. So please bear these huge truths in mind as you approach Matthew 5. The Torah has to be changed in view of the new second covenant. The reason for that is given in the verse that follows where you were reading there. Finding fault with them. He didn't find fault with himself. God knew exactly what he was doing. He actually gave the Mosaic law as a temporary schoolmaster until the Messiah came. But I want to stress this too, that Abraham and Isaac and Jacob and all the prophets will be in the kingdom. So they are Christians ahead of time. Exactly how that works, I'm not sure, but you cannot be in the kingdom without being a born-again believer. So Paul expressly says that the Abrahamic situation, the situation with Abraham, meant that Abraham had the gospel preached ahead of time to him. Not, I'm sure, with all the detail that we now have, but Abraham got the gospel, the saving gospel. He understood that, and when he sacrificed his son, he also understood, I think, the type there. He knew what he was doing. God explained that to him. So we've got clarity here. Jesus is our teacher, but the system, evangelicalism out there, dispensationalism, is saying the opposite.